It was nearly closing time at Riverside Grill, the kind of small, warm-lit restaurant where people came to escape the rush of life. Ethan Cole, a single dad in his mid-30s, sat with his 7-year-old daughter Mia, enjoying their rare treat night. Ethan worked 2 jobs, construction during the day and deliveries at night. But Thursday dinners were their ritual. Mia loved them, and Ethan cherished every second, trying to fill both parental roles with his whole heart. On this particular night, the air felt different, tense, uneasy, as if the universe held its breath. Ethan noticed it before Mia did. He always did. Being a single father sharpened his instincts. Being a former soldier made them unshakable. Mia was talking excitedly about her school art project when Ethan's eyes drifted toward the entrance. A woman entered, alone, trembling, clutching her purse as though it were a lifeline. Her dark hair fell messily around her face, and her clothes looked wrinkled, as if she'd rushed to escape someone. She hesitated at the door, scanning the room nervously before taking the farthest corner seat. "Mia," Ethan whispered, still watching the woman. "Stay in your seat, sweetheart." Mia followed his gaze and frowned. "Daddy," she looked sad. Before Ethan could respond, the door burst open again. 2 men stormed in, their posture aggressive, their eyes sharp and searching. The taller one hissed angrily, "She came in here!" "Find her!" Ethan tensed. The room suddenly shrank and everyone inside felt it. The waiters stiffened. A couple paused with forks halfway to their mouths. Fear spread like smoke. But the men didn't care. They prowled through the restaurant with the confidence of predators chasing prey. Mia tugged on Ethan's sleeve. "Daddy, can we help her?" Those simple words hit him harder than any punch he'd ever taken, because behind them was the voice of his late wife, gentle, noble, always believing in doing the right thing, no matter how dangerous. Mia had her mother's heart. Ethan stood slowly. "Stay here, no matter what." He walked toward the 2 men with calm determination. His boots tapped softly on the floor, but the sound echoed like thunder in the silent restaurant. The taller man spotted him approaching and smirked. "Mind your business, old man," he said. "We're looking for someone." Ethan's voice was steady. "I think she doesn't want to be found." The second man stepped closer, cracking his knuckles. "Oh, and what's it to you?" Ethan leaned forward slightly, his tone low but filled with steel. "Everything if you're threatening her." They lunged. Ethan moved faster than they expected. He sidestepped the first punch, grabbed the attacker's arm, and slammed him onto the table, sending dishes crashing. The second pulled a knife, but Ethan swept a chair into him, knocking him off balance. With a swift motion, he twisted the knife from the man's hand and kicked it away. The fight lasted less than 10 seconds. When it ended, both attackers groaned on the floor. Ethan didn't even break a sweat. Mia ran to him, wrapping her tiny arms around his waist. "Daddy, are you okay?" He knelt and kissed her forehead. "Always for you." The woman in the corner stared wide-eyed, tears forming. She hesitated before whispering, "Thank you. Thank you so much." Ethan nodded, helping her up gently. "You're safe now." But before he could say more, the sound of police sirens approached. The restaurant staff had called them. The officers arrested the 2 men, took statements, and finally turned to the woman. "Do you want to file charges?" they asked. She shook her head fearfully. They know where I live. I just need to disappear." Ethan stepped forward. "Do you have somewhere safe to go?" She hesitated, then whispered, "No." Mia tugged Ethan's sleeve again. "Daddy, we should help her, please." The police, the staff, the bystanders, everyone watched Ethan. And Ethan, a man who'd lost his wife, who knew loneliness too well, who was raising a daughter to be compassionate, looked into his daughter's pleading eyes. He exhaled softly. "Come home with us tonight," he told the woman. "Just until you're safe." Her eyes widened in disbelief. Why would you help me?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Because my little girl asked me to." The woman burst into tears. And that night, Ethan had no idea that helping her would change his life more than he ever expected. Because on the very next day, everything would take a turn he never saw coming. Morning sunlight filtered through Ethan's small but cozy home. Mia had insisted on making breakfast with the woman, whose name, they learned, was Lena Carter. She was quiet, gentle, and incredibly grateful, though shadows lingered in her eyes. As they ate pancakes together, Ethan noticed how Mia kept glancing at Lena with protective warmth. Children sense things adults often missed, and Mia sensed Lena was hurting inside. After breakfast, Ethan stepped outside to take a call from his construction boss. When he came back inside, the front door was slightly open. "Lena," he called. No answer. He walked into the kitchen and saw a folded note on the table, weighed down by one of Mia's crayons. His heart sank as he opened it. "Ethan, Mia, thank you for your kindness. You saved me, but I don't want danger to follow me and hurt your little girl. I have to go. Please don't look for me." "Lena." Ethan closed his eyes. He understood fear. He understood running, but he also understood that Lena was still in danger. Mia walked in, rubbing her eyes. "Daddy, where's Miss Lena?" Ethan held the note behind his back. "She had to leave, sweetheart." Mia's lip quivered. "But we helped her. Why didn't she say bye?" Before Ethan could respond, there was a loud knock at the door. He opened it and froze. Standing on his porch were two officers, and behind them a familiar face. Lena. But she wasn't trembling this time. She looked almost relieved. "Ethan," she said, softly stepping forward, "I didn't leave because I wanted to. Those men, they were part of something bigger. Last night, after you saved me, the police found evidence that I'm a key witness in a case they've been working on. They tracked me down this morning." One of the officers nodded. "Sir, your actions last night might have prevented a kidnapping. Lena is under protective watch now." Mia ran to Lena, hugging her tightly. "I thought you left forever." Lena knelt and hugged her back. "I wouldn't leave without saying goodbye. I just didn't want you two in danger." Ethan studied her face. "Are you safe now?" She nodded. "Yes, the police are taking me to a secure place. But before I go..." Her voice broke a little as she looked directly into Ethan's eyes. "And I needed you to know that you changed my life. You and your daughter showed me kindness I hadn't seen in years. You gave me hope. You made me believe good people still exist." She reached into her purse, pulled out a small envelope and handed it to him. "This is my number, the one the officers set up for me. When this is all over, I'd like to stay in touch if you'd want that." Ethan felt something warm stir inside him, something he hadn't felt since before his wife passed. "Hope," he nodded. "Yeah, I'd like that." Lena smiled, tears glistening. "Good, because I'd like to come back one day, not as someone you rescued, but as someone who wants to be in your life." She kissed Mia gently on the forehead. "Be brave, little angel." Mia sniffled. "Come back soon." Lena stepped into the car, looking back one last time, eyes lingering on Ethan as if memorizing him. The car drove away. Mia slipped her hand into Ethan's. "Daddy, will she really come back?" Ethan smiled softly. "I think she will. And when she does, everything will be different." And as they stood on the porch, watching the car disappear, Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. A new beginning, a chance at healing, and the quiet promise of a future he never expected.